We start. Anyone has a question?
You mentioned that Ibrahim, the Arabs
Yes.
start way behind Ibrahim's time and all these things. Then that means that the Moses and all those things, they are Jew and all those things, they are all Arabs by a different line, is it?
Yeah. No, it's like this. It's like this. Okay. We have to differentiate between Arabic as a race and Arabic as language. For example, the first language Allah spoke to Adam with was Arabic. That doesn't mean Adam was Arab, because he has no father. But when Allah spoke to Adam, He spoke to him with the language of the Quran. وَعَلَّمَ آدَمَ الْأَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا. The word Adam is an Arabic name. Hawa is an Arabic name. So when Allah spoke to Adam, He spoke to him in Arabic. So Arabic is the mother of all languages, and is the last language that Allah spoke to mankind with. Okay. After that, so now we are children of Adam and Eve. Of course, even between two brothers, there is difference of dialect. Look at, for example, the Malays. The dialect of Kelantan is not like Sabah. When I went to Sabah, people speak like Indonesians. It's more of an Indonesian, between the Malaysians and the Indonesians, still Malay, but different. So, was Ibrahim alayhi salam an Arab? Could be, but not the Arab of the desert, because I told you there are three types of Arabs, remember? There is al-Arab al-Ba'ida, khalas, no more. Like Prophet Hud alayhi salam, Prophet Saleh. They were Arabs, their people were annihilated by Allah, no more. Then there are al-Arab al-Ariba, that come from Yemen, the original Arabs, the pure Arabs, meaning father and mother both Arabs. Then there are al-Arab al-Musta'riba, al-Arab who became Arabs because of, for example, if Algerian, like my children, live in Malaysia, they become Malays with time. Maybe not my children, grandchildren, if they marry here. Like many Yemenis who came here, now they are Malays. Al-Attas, Al-Bar, our brother here, from his mother's side, right? Some of you already Arabicized, half Malays. I see. So, Ibrahim alayhi salam definitely could have been an Arab, but not Arab of the desert, because he comes from Iraq. The Arabs of civilization. There are the Arabs nomad, they depend only on horses and camels and shepherds, and there are the Arabs of civilization, highly civilized, including Fir'aun. If you come to see Fir'aun, the Pharaonic Egypt is very Arabic. That's why they have civilization. Thamud, people of Saleh, Petra, the people of Hud alayhi salam in Yemen, in great civilization, but no more. Allah destroyed them because they committed kufr. So Ibrahim alayhi salam, he had two sons. Ismail, who became Arab because the Yemenis, or Yemeni tribe, came to his mom and stayed with his mother. And then the other son, who was born in Palestine, Ishaq. Ishaq had a son. That son is Israel. Yaqub, Jacob. So if we write here, for example, just to make it clear to everybody. Yeah. Ibrahim, we cannot say he was Arab or not. Maybe in tongue, but it wasn't yet. He had two sons, Ismail alayhi salam, who the Yemeni tribe came and lived with him in Mecca and took care of him. So he became Arab Musta'riba. Here, his other brother, half brother from different mother, who is Ishaq. Ishaq alayhi salam had a son. His name is Yaqub. In English, Jacob. Who has another name, Israel. Ishaq, Ismail, Israel. Israel had 12 sons, including Yusuf. These are Bani Israel, children of Israel, who is Yaqub. Either we say children of Israel or we say children of Yaqub. Out of these 12 children came Musa. Out of this son only comes Muhammad. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allah wants Muhammad, peace be upon him, to come from Ismail. The other prophets came from Yaqub. So, was Ibrahim Jew or Arab? No. At that moment, still the Arabs didn't know yet if they were this or this. So it's pretty much after Ibrahim that genealogy started. After Ibrahim. But for sure Ibrahim was Muslim, regardless of his origin. He was not a Jew or Christian. All the prophets of Allah were Muslims too. But the Jews, since they speak about Musa, they want to claim that Ibrahim is theirs. But Allah cut the road. He says in Surah Al-Baqarah, مَا كَانَ إِبْرَاهِيمُ يَهُودِيًّا وَلَا نَصْرَانِيًّا. Ibrahim was neither a Jew nor Christian. وَلَكِنْ كَانَ حَنِيفًا مُسْلِمًا. Surah Ali Imran. But he is a Hanif Muslim. وَمَا كَانَ مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ. He was not a mushrik. Now the Jews say, okay, you can talk about Musa and Isa, Jews and Christians. Why are you talking about Ibrahim? When you yourself didn't exist at all when Ibrahim existed. Because they follow Musa or Isa, the Jews. They follow who? Musa. And the Christians, they follow who? Isa. So Ibrahim much more early. Why are we debating about Ibrahim? If Ibrahim was contemporary to Musa and Isa, or after them, maybe we say they have a point. But Ibrahim a.s. was much earlier than their own fathers. Look, their own fathers. So the Jews and the Christians want to trick sometimes. Trick us. Okay? So let's see now.
So Isa comes out from this land.
Isa, also, all the prophets of Allah come from Yaqub. All the prophets after Yaqub come from Yaqub. The 12 children of Israel. Actually, that's not good. That shows Bani Israel are sick when you have so many doctors. What does it mean? It means you are very sick. The Arabs, only one prophet was sent, he fixed them, right? Because they are good. The Arabs are much better. Unlike what the media has put in our minds. Just look who is teaching you. Takbir. If you're not happy, drive your car. Takbir. Kick. From here. Free. No lion air, no marindo. Free. Takbir. I'm very good kicker. Takbir. Yeah. I laugh at Americans. They always say American football. They kick it only once. American football. Man. The Meccan period. So we are now today Hariini Al-Fatratul Makkiyah. So if you are following your book, open 109, page 109. So Alhamdulillah, we covered his birth. Before even his birth, we talked about political, economic, social, intellectual aspect of Mecca and what was in the world those days. Because I told you, you will never appreciate what Rasulullah ﷺ did unless you see the challenges he's faced. When I tell you, do you know so and so? He carried 50 kilos. You may say, what is 50 kilos? Until you know that it was just a small kid. Oh, you said, small kid carried 50, just small kid, 2, 3 years, 4, 5 years old. Example. You have to appreciate, but not like 50 kilos for a strong man like me or Brother Emery. That's nothing for us. You got it or not? If I tell you, so and so, mashallah, comes 5 times a day to the masjid. You say, what's the big deal? You should know where he lives. He comes and he has no car. He comes by bicycle. That's a lot for someone who lives 5 minutes away from the masjid with car. So you need to understand the achievements of Rasulullah ﷺ in their time. In their time. Like our sisters, they will never understand what the Rasulullah ﷺ gave them, because when they talk about their rights, right of a woman, for example, to accept or refuse a husband, the right to buy and sell, the right to ownership, the right to ask for divorce if she doesn't like a man anymore. All these rights didn't exist at all. Women had no rights. The right to inherit, the right to give anything she wants to somebody else, the right to fall in the back with your chair. The right to remain silent. Fifth. Take the fifth. You know what is the fifth? Takbir. So please understand, when we talk about that, so we see, Rasulullah changed everything, which was very difficult. You know, the most difficult things to change are actually cultural things. Many of you hear me and listen to me and love me, but you can't let go certain things. Difficult for you. Difficult. Not yet. But I don't lose hope. I still have hope in you. Takbir.
I think because of Malay culture.
No. Everywhere.
In Malay,
Everywhere.
said, biar mati anak, jangan mati adat. Better let the child die than your culture.
Yeah. No, yeah, I can hear, I can see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah. No, but if they mean Islamic culture, no problem. But they mean Jahiliyyah culture. I rather see my son die, God forbid, than to see, let's say, Muslim Malays change into Hindus or Buddhists. That's, if it means that, yes. But if it means I rather see my son die than give up on, let's say, Tahleel. No. I rather give up on Tahleel than see one of my children die. So it depends what we mean by culture. Also, we talked about his youth, his childhood, that he grew up orphan, he didn't see his dad. Most of us, alhamdulillah, we know at least how our fathers look like. Rasulullah didn't. He didn't even see his dad. His mom, 6 years old. 6, when he was 6. His grandpa, 8. His uncle, later on. Now, alhamdulillah, we also talked about 6 of his children died in his lifetime. 6 out of 7. That's a lot. That's very painful. We also talked about, we said that Khadija, he will lose her soon. We will see. Not very soon, but in the Meccan period. So pain after pain. So Rasulullah was always in pain. Allah tested him and tested him and tested him. So if Allah tests me or you, we should always remember that the most beloved to Allah, Muhammad ﷺ, was tested. We also talked about his youth. He was very rough and tough. He wasn't like our children today. Very, don't even when you pray with them, try to do this to your son or daughter. Leave me. Oh my God. Try to do this to your son. Just push him like this. Especially the mother. They don't tolerate the mother, do that to them. Sounds familiar? The girls are good. The boys. Rasulullah was tough. He was really tough boy when he was kid. His uncle took him with him at 12 years old. Where? All the way to Syria to do business, to learn from that young age, to learn. Walking, riding the best. At the best, riding. So that made him, mashallah, very clever. Also, we talked about Bahira. When he saw this boy, he realized this boy has big future. So he asked, tricky question. He said, who's the father of this boy? His uncle said, I. Can I help you? He said, this boy is not supposed to have a father. He said, yes, I am his uncle. Where is his father? He passed away. He said, I thought so. He said, take this kid. Take him back wherever you brought him. He said, why? He said, the Jews will kill him. I see he's a blessed kid. And the Jews hated that anyone will be blessed other than them. They are very hasad people. The Jews are hasad. Be careful when you travel to any land. The Jews are not happy with you. If they see you a successful doctor, successful businessman, oh, you have to be careful. Okay. Then Rasulullah ﷺ, mashallah, worked between buying and selling with his uncle and between being shepherd. Until one day, this famous lady, may Allah be pleased with her, who was quite wealthy, a widow, heard of this man. So she offered him a job, but she never saw him. And she gave him her best servant, Maysara, to be with him. So Maysara follows him, first time to go, and but by the way, Khadija was very generous. She split the profit. Who splits the profit with you? Work for me. The capital is mine. But whatever profit, 50-50. Of course, that will really encourage man to work for her. Most of us, what? 1/3. 2/3 for you, 1/3 for me. No, sometimes this is how you make money. Especially if you have money and you cannot go. She was a lady, of course she cannot go buy and sell outside in the market. So she asked men to do that. Rasulullah ﷺ not only got her a lot of wealth, but Maysara said, I never saw a man like him. He was speaking so highly of him that Khadija really got interested. Who is this man? When she saw him, she was shocked how handsome he was. And she didn't hide that. He was very handsome, these people. But he had that, I told you, that fear. When you look at him, you are takut of him. You cannot just come near him. Not easy. He was not accessible, yet very attractive. And like Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam, very attractive and accessible. That's why women storm him. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, you takut, man cannot look at him. I told you Amr ibn al-As said, before I become Muslim, he said, I was really enemy of the Prophet, but I always had respect to him. He said, when I became Muslim, when the Prophet is talking, we look at him, but when he looks at us, peace be upon him. MashaAllah. Then we said, Alhamdulillah, she offered him something more than job. She offered him marriage. And we said in Islam, there is nothing wrong if a woman has attraction to men to say, but never directly. Always through third party. And please not the Malaysian way. Bunga bunga. The bee, what do you call the bee? In Malay? The bee, the leaf.
The kumbang.
Kumbang. There is a lost kumbang. Yeah, what you say? How you say?
Oh, yes, yes.
Kumbang is coming. And she's looking for honey, for flower to take this. And the mother of the girl says, the bunga is closed, not yet. Tak boleh, tak ready. And the mother of the bee will say, and the bee will come back, and inshallah maybe next year. The other one says, no year, forget it. Why you speak like that? Sayamahu, your daughter for my son. Yes, no, no problem. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Metaphors, you love metaphors in your language. Yeah. Old ladies, they still have this culture, mashallah. Today, mashallah, the young mothers don't know this. Direct. Lillahi ta'ala. Which is good. But at least, as they say, you need the thesaurus, you need culture. Yeah, okay, we want your daughter for our son. Are you okay? Is she available? No, not yet. She's still studying. Something. We understand. Oh, Akbar. Huh? Okay. Do you understand what I'm saying? Little bit. It's okay. Sheikh, I'm waiting for the story. Okay, now, Khadija offered him marriage through her best friend Habiba, Nafisa. Nafisa went to his uncle. The uncle suggested to him, he said, Uncle, what do you think? He said, we have no problem with Khadija. Khadija, every man wishes her. She's a very good lady and honorable from a very good family. He said, okay, he agreed. Alhamdulillah, they got married. Amazingly, it's Khadija that gives him birth to children. SubhanAllah. It's Khadija. Although he married after Khadija, 10 more women. 10. Sorry. The Prophet ﷺ had 11 wives total in his life. No man can do that. It's haram to go more than 4 at one time. But pay attention to this. You know Rasulullah ﷺ, 11 and he cannot. Pay attention. He cannot add after 11. He was forbidden. Any man of us can marry 4, divorce them, 4, divorce them, 400. But the Prophet cannot. So actually he is limited. We are not. Do you know that or not? Okay. If a man marries 4 wives, and then he decides tomorrow to divorce them all, he says, you're divorced. Give them the nafaqa. They go, khalas. Then he can marry another 4. So how much total? 8. Then he let them go. Then he marries 4. Let them go. Until he dies. Let's say total 400. He didn't sin. Now, please understand. The Prophet cannot do that. We can do that. The Prophet was really limited. It's just people don't understand this. Another thing. Those 4 ladies, after this husband divorced them. They can remarry or not?
Yes, they can.
The wives of Rasulullah cannot. You got it or not? So not only he was limited, his wives were limited. So please understand this, because the enemies of Islam, when they attack Islam, tell them this. Clear? Just for you to know, huh? Because this is very important to know.
Why is he limited to 11?
Huh?
Why is he limited to 11?
I don't know, Allah knows. But he returned many women, many proposals, many sisters asking for marriage. Because to them, marriage was not about bad. Sisters, this is a big mistake. Marriage is all about protection and providing. I told you, a man who cannot protect his wife and provide for her, sorry, he's not a man. He has to protect her, not only physically, protect her from Jahannam. He has to command her to wear hijab. That's a man. Because he doesn't want the woman to go to hell. That's a man. He has authority. He has to provide for her. He pays the bills of electricity, of water, this is a man. She can help. Pay attention. I'm not saying women shouldn't help. Women should help. But who should be the qiwama, leadership of the family? Is the man, not the woman. And that's why he has the final say. Because he spends money on this family. That's why he should have veto power. But if the woman spends more money than the husband, sorry, he has no power now. You faham or not? Sometimes the wife is very rich from a wealthy family. The husband is not that wealthy. Sorry. Here, Please understand. This is very important what I'm saying. Because many men are taking it lightly. They think marriage is okay. No, marriage is all about protecting and providing. Protect his wife and children and provide for them. When he is disabled, God forbid he was a businessman and then got bankrupt, or disabled physically, cannot work anymore, that's different. We're talking, he just goes to Minum Tetare, and 4 wives like Clantanese work for him. And they don't mind. Do you know that or not? In Kelantan. That's why I love Kelantan. I need to go to Kelantan. Takbir. Just visit, see. I study them. I go to the market and watch. From morning, from Fajr, I'm watching. This come on this road. Because I heard the Kelantanese women are quite like Arab women when it comes to keeping their gold. So their savings are always with them, very smart. Their savings always with them. Kelantan, is that true?
Yes.
Your father is from Kelantan?
Yes.
Do you visit Kelantan?
Yes.
When is the last time you visited Kelantan?
After Eid.
Okay, next time we go together. Takbir! But just you and me. And Zaid.
Okay.
Because Dr. Amin, khalas, cannot. I can see. Takbir! Yalla, man's issue. You women, be quiet.
Regarding the trading, regarding the trading Kelantan, that's what I heard. Because correct, the wealth is in the jewelry.
Yes.
So what I heard is that in the morning, they actually take their jewelry, go to the pawn shop, put the gold there to get the cash. With the cash, they buy whatever they need to do for their business. In the evening, whatever they make, they
return. And they return.
That they
True.
return that cash.
Yeah.
My late grandmother buys gold every day.
Yeah.
Wow.
They do. I mean,
Oh.
Kelantan is really blessed in buying and selling gold.
Yeah.
It's because of the tradition,
Around the room.
that culture, the culture.
The,
Terengganu also, little.
yeah, my late grandmother, they trade, and the profit that they make, they buy gold.
Gold,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's every day.
Smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My grandma, I remember, she was quite rich.
Yeah.
She used to, you know the,
Okay.
no. Sabar. She puts her gold here, that she, you know the currency. It's called Napoleon gold. Napoleon Bonaparte.
Yes.
Yes, and she was so generous, so rich, that she doesn't have to wait for my grandpa to give her anything. Tell my mom or any one of her daughters, go sell this quickly, get me some cash. And the jewelry is so happy because that is very old, very has value. Give her a lot, yalla. Everybody eat, everybody drink.
They wear the gold here.
Yeah, they put you haven't seen.
Very good.
You haven't seen how Arab women adorn themselves. You should come to Algeria, I show you. Serious. In the wedding you see. When there is a wedding, you come see, and then you see the bride has gold everywhere. Until she can't walk. They have to have her. No, serious. I feel sorry for her, but she may wear so much gold, more than her own weight. That's why always 2 women beside her. Yeah. If you steal one bride, you become rich. Kidnap one. Khalas, yalla. Takbir. Okay. Now the Meccan period. So, Alhamdulillah, we said that the first person to become Muslim was a woman. The first person to become Muslim and believe in Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was a woman, Khadija, may Allah be pleased with her. Allah blessed her with carrying in her womb the children of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, also it's very important to know the only wife he had in the Meccan period was Khadija. And I told you, had it been for him, he would not have married any other woman beside Khadija or after Khadija. But it was the command of Allah. And I tell you why. In the Medina period, because Medina period is a period of Sharia, of Tashri'ah, of law. And family law requires multiple marriage. Family law. For people to understand it, the person who is an example must have a wife, let alone a widow. Widower. He was a widower. No. He must marry, and marry multiple. Second, so that some of them very young, like Aisha radiallahu anha, to narrate the hadith. Because old women don't remember. Young girls remember very well, memorize. So we have seen, for example, our beloved mother Aisha radiallahu anha lives 49 years after the Prophet, 50 years after, half century. And half of the sunnah is narrated by that woman. May Allah be pleased with her. So there are hikam. Even when Rasulullah ﷺ married second and third, it was after 53. After 53, a man is not interested anymore in women. And like when in his youth, in 20s, 30s, and 40s. Okay. The Meccan period. The life of Rasulullah ﷺ is divided into two periods after Allah honored him with prophethood and the message. Each of these periods of his life were distinguished from the other. They are the Meccan period and the Medina period. Meccan period, approximately 13 years. Medina period, 10 years. So he lived two types of lives. One in Mecca, which is da'wah. One in Medina, jihad. And I told you, Muslims will never have strength until they start doing jihad. And I will prove to you that. Here is an example. Sisters, look at me, brothers. 13 years of da'wah. He managed to convince only a few hundred Sahaba. But when he went to Medina, 10 years only, hundreds of thousands of people embraced Islam. Why? What's the difference?
Yeah.
Very good. The only difference, here he didn't use jihad. Here he used jihad. You need to know, some people follow you only if you are strong. You know that or not? So power. Power. You have to be strong. If you are not using jihad will be done to you. Meaning occupation will come to you. So Muslims, Rasulullah ﷺ told us, وَمَا تَرَكَ قَوْمٌ الْجِهَادَ إِلَّا ذَلُّوا. And any people, qawm, leave jihad, there will be dishonor happening to them. Today, look at Muslims. We are too nice. That's why no one respects us. Okay, so it's him, same, da'wah. But what's the difference? This one da'wah without jihad, this one da'wah with jihad. See? So jihad, who said jihad will not bring more to Islam? It will. It will. Some nations will not be subdued except with jihad. You need to understand this. So the Meccan period, now we talk about Meccan period. Later on when inshallah we cover 13 years of his da'wah in Mecca, we will talk about jihad in Medina. Each period consisted of distinct levels which become apparent after investigating the phases that the invitation to the message of Islam passed through during each of the two periods. The Meccan period may be divided into 3 levels. So if I have to write here something, da'wah or prophethood or messagehood. It went through 2 periods. Mecca period, Medina period. How many years here?
13.
How many years here?
Yeah.
10. That's all. Rasulullah became prophet at the age of 14. He died at 63. So only 23 years. Look what he did. Now you know, that what 23 years is not long. But what made him successful in 23 years? Think. Beside the tawfiq of Allah, he had a secret. If you have it, you will be also very successful. You might not live long. What is it? Compact time. It's called compact time. You may not spend a lot of time with your family, but you focus. Once you enter home, there is no Facebook, there is no anything. So you spend valuable time with the children, with the wife, which most men don't do now. The more they enter home, so you may have 2-3 hours of work, but focused, and you achieve a lot. Somebody works 8 hours, doesn't achieve what you achieve. So it's quality time. The Prophet ﷺ never rested in these 23 years. Never. He never took a day vacation off. So actually what to do, meaning he was very, very, very focused in what he does. That's why he achieved a lot. In one day he can do hundreds of things. He never delays what he can do today for tomorrow. He never. Remember this. Most of us say, oh, okay, this one tomorrow, this one next month. No. Whatever you can do now, do it. So, he had what we call quality time. Now we're talking about this. This has 3 periods, 3 phases. We're still talking about Meccan period. The first phase, Dr. Amin?
Secret call.
Here.
Yeah.
What is it?
Secret invitation.
Secret
Invitation.
recipe. Right? Secret recipe. Secret recipe. Huh? Dr. Amin. Secret invitation.
Invitation.
That's my second favorite after Coffee Bean. Secret invitation. Meaning, he talks only to Dr. Amin, to Sister Shamin, to Brother Zayd, only the people he knows. So 3 years. What's the period? 3 years. So from 40 to 43, he was talking only secretly. He was not open to people. Remember this. So the first 3 years. Then
Public invitation.
public invitation. Now he goes to the public when Allah commanded him to stand on Safa, on the mount, as-Safa. And he shouted at people, oh people, come, hear me out. So everybody want to hear him. They heard there was something, but they didn't know what was it. So he was very secretive. Only the people he trusts. Once he formed a good core group, Allah commanded him to go publicly. And you all know the famous story, we will come to it, of calling them and say, what do you think about me? Did I ever lie to you? They said, no, you are a good man. Did I ever lie? They said, no, you are a Sadiq al-Amin. He said, then I'm the messenger of Allah. Why don't you follow? They were about. His uncle said, Tabban lak. This is what you called us for. Get lost. Go back to work. He was tough man. So they took out of him. So if people, you leave them alone with da'wah, people will accept da'wah. It's always the chiefs, the malak, the people who benefit from the system, who will come and say no. Okay. Number 3, third phase. So
Invitation outside Makkah.
2A, B, C. Invitation, da'wah, outside Makkah. I will eat you, roast you, alive. Musang, all of us we have this musang. You have? At home? Can. If he catches it. Like there. Yeah, it's okay.
Is a fox, right?
Yes.
Squirrel.
No, it's not squirrel, it's squirrel. It's like a cat. It's like Shiro,
Yeah, like that.
but a little bit white. Timid. He doesn't mix.
Wow. Oh, great.
Yeah. But not cat. But he has those. He can eat. He eats rats. He eats fruits. He eats the other one. Bat. He eats them all. Yeah. Huh?
Got bad also.
Yeah. If he falls here, just the back shahada. That's all. Don't run. Takbir. Expect anything in Malaysia. One day you're sitting home, you find a half crocodile passing. In Malaysia, anything possible. Takbir. Malaysia still wide. That day I was driving, I saw this.
Snake.
No, snake. The other one. Where in
Lewa.
Guyana.
Lizard. Lizard.
Lizard. Allahu Akbar.
Monitor lizard.
Yes. Hey. So don't be afraid. If it falls here, it's okay. It's not my house anyway. Takbir. Subhanallah, in my classes there is always animals mentioned. I don't know. Secret. Invitation for 3 years. After that, Allah commanded him to go public. And then he started doing public da'wah. Then he started looking for da'wah outside Mecca. Ta'if. That's why he went to Ta'if. So when we say the Meccan period, we cover these three. Okay? Ready inshallah?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Life in Mecca. In front of you is Jabal An-Nur. Look at it. And that's the cave where Rasulullah ﷺ used to go. Do you see that cave? You see that's one of the tallest or highest mountains in Mecca. That's the cave. Do you see the cave? There is a cave there, small. In the shade of the message and prophethood. In the cave of Hira, when Rasulullah ﷺ was nearly 40, he was accustomed to passing some time by himself. He liked to be alone. So, in seclusion, he likes to go somewhere where nobody bothers him. Why? By the way, if you really want to be a little bit wise, you need to leave city.
Distraction.
City life is not good compared to kampung life. You need to be alone sometimes. Go take a break. Then you start thinking wisely. Nature, nothing. But you shouldn't take your cell phone with you. Because sometimes you think you are secluded, but as long as there is no cell phone, you are always with people. What I mean, less hours on your, cell phone. Which most of us cannot live without that. If you miss your mushaf, would you return home? You miss your cell phone? You turn. If you forget your cell phone, you go back home and get it. If you forget your mushaf, ta'ala, inshallah. So, only when we return to mushaf, the way we are returning to cell phones, then we are really strong Muslims.
Sheikh, I was like, based on what you were just saying just now, sometimes I do feel like I really want to read the book, but then everybody thinks there's something wrong with you and you don't.
Yeah, tell them, yeah. No, at least he should know. Husband. Other than husband, nobody should know. You want to be alone with Allah. Make tasbih. Yeah, but somebody cares. Your mom, you're still young, and your mom need to know where you're going. By the way, did we have cell phones before? And we were communicating very well.
Yes.
Dad, Assalamu alaikum. I need, so at least your father sees you, your mother sees you. Today, because everybody has cell phone, no one sees anyone. In one house, we don't see each other. Turn off the Wi-Fi, then you know how many kids you have. Turn on the Wi-Fi. You turn off the Wi-Fi, they already have 4G. Still they don't come. Takbir. Mm. So, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he was nearly 40, he started secluding himself. He used to let Khadija know. But one night, subhanallah, he disappeared for 3 days. He never stayed for 3 days and nights. Especially when he takes only food of 1 day. One time he spent the night there. So maximum, he spent the night and he came in the morning. That was the longest. But this time 3 days. And Khadija worried so much. What happened? Did snake bite him? Did the scorpion? Anything can happen. Did he fall? Did he break a leg and cannot come down? Something like that. So she was really, in that night, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose him to be his prophet. And the way the wahi came to him, my brothers and sisters, it was really shocking. That's why I believe in shocks. In life, sisters and brothers, you get to be shocked. Bad news to wake you up. Something you never expected it happens. Somebody shocks you with an information you never expected that information. Shocks you. You deny it first. You deny it, and later on you expect. Like I did with you about Adam alayhi salam. I told you Adam was not created in paradise. That was a shock to all of you. You're still under shock. Some of you passed it, some of you still. But eventually you will. The second shock I shocked my community with was that women can touch the mushaf while having their period. The only thing you cannot do when you have period is salat and siyam. Anything else you can do. But the way we were taught, we never reviewed it. And by Allah, before you met me, did you learn Islam from ulama? Most of you learned it from grandma and grandpa. Even this issue, only when I mentioned it, you started verifying with other ustaz, you know. Because they would never tell you that. And I don't mind, even when they disagree with me, because I have sound evidence. It's just we never question. Whatever they taught us, we think it's the truth, and the only two things a woman in her period cannot do is prayer and fasting. She can give zakat, she can give sadaqah, she can go to umrah, she can go to hajj. The only thing in hajj and umrah cannot do is tawaf. She can do tawaf, that's all, until she is out of the period. That's it. She can do everything other than tawaf.
It was at mosque.
Yes. It's just our differentiate between religion and between culture. Okay. So, for 3 years, he started secluding himself. Before this wahi came, he didn't like to mix with people. That gave him more time to think, to prepare him, because need a very deep mind and pure heart. Second, he this time stayed 3 nights, so she worried. Then at night, one of those 3 nights, he came down, shivering, scared. What happened to him? Angel Jibreel alayhi salam came to him. He didn't see him in the cave, inside the cave. He didn't see him, but he told him to read. Read what? He said, "Ma ana biqari." I can't read. He said, read. I can't read. So usually the answer is I cannot. No. Insist. He said, Ma ana biqari. I can't read. I don't know how to read. He said, Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. When he said, I can't, he squeezed him. So shocked. He said, until I couldn't breathe. I couldn't breathe. I was about to pass out. Imagine the force until you can't breathe. Oxygen is no more going inside your lungs. That was Jibreel alayhi salam. Then he let me go, he said. Then he said, read. I repeated, I cannot read. Please, leave me alone. Then squeeze him, until he was about to pass out. Iqra. He said third time, I told him I can't. It's not like I don't want, I can't. He said, Iqra bismi rabbika. He said, I just repeated what he said to let me go. He said, Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. خلق الإنسان من علق خلق الإنسان من علق اقرأ وربك الأكرم اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم علم الإنسان. He said he let me go. I was so relieved that I did not know where I was putting my leg. He was just running backward, scared. He said, then I heard, Ya Muhammad, Ya Muhammad. Of course, since he is on top of the mountain, he's expecting Khadija to have sent one of the slaves, especially Zayd bin Haritha radiallahu anhu, to look for him. Or Ammar bin Yasir, he had some very good Sahaba then. Because 3 years, he had friends. Abu Bakr was his friend. He had this one, Zayd bin Haritha as his adopted son. One of them will come and check. He said, I was happy to hear my name. And then I looked down, no one. I looked right, no one. I looked left, no one. When I looked up in the sky, it was him. I saw him. Him who? Jibreel. He said he covered the horizon. That scared him even more. So double shock. He saw him. He said, I am the messenger of Allah to you, and you are the messenger of Allah to people. He said, I started running, coming down, not knowing where to put my foot. And he knocked the door, opened the door, jumped on Khadija's lap. She was sitting. He said, Zammiluni, Zammiluni. He was shivering. Cover me, cover me, cover me. He was trembling. She was scared, of course. He said, what's wrong with you? He said, something happened to me, something happened. He told her. Question, why did he go to Khadija? Usually men don't go to their wives when they have trouble.
His best friend.
Huh?
His best friend.
Very good.
He respected her.
No, she treated him nice. You ladies are not treating us nice. Ya Allah, help me with at least.
Yes.
No, they cannot even say. Takbir. No, you have to understand that. He was not just a good man. He was. But she was a good wife.
Because he was a good one. In a way.
Yes. Always, which one is first? The egg or the chicken? The egg or the chicken? She was, because she was older than him. She was wiser. Remember. Rasulullah was a great man, but he was not prophet yet. Now he's going to be even better husband. Please understand this. So, what did she do? That shows her character. She told him, she reminded him that good thing, this is a good thing, don't worry. Because he told her, Khadija, don't do something. Because they believed in the jinn. He was afraid the jinn hit him or something. She said, no, these things don't happen to good people. Why? She reminded him of good. When somebody is down, brothers and sisters, we must be very positive in front of him. Even medically. When somebody is medically sick, we should say, you look good, alhamdulillah, mashallah, until he starts believing that. Not you look very pale. I have to say the truth, huh? I don't lie, huh? You look pale. Yeah, okay, you told me. You know, my father was exactly like you, one day before he died. You're not happy. You're not happy, brother. That's how we do.
Isn't that lying?
No. You look good. You are in the hands of Allah. Yeah.
Be grateful, alhamdulillah.
Yeah. You look good, inshallah. Because you're still alive. But don't say because you're still alive. You know what I mean? Yeah, you look good. Alhamdulillah. To me, in your situation, you're still alive. Very good. But don't say that. You look good, mashallah, everything will be fine. Everything is in the hand of Allah. Allah is so merciful. You're going to be out, inshallah. Why not? Because Allah can do that. So being positive, you are not lying. You understand? His pulse is high. Tell him the pulse is high. But don't say, no, you look very good. Your pulse is perfect. 13 over 7. Systolic. What's the other one?
Diastolic.
Diastolic. You know, if it's 20 over 12, say 20 over 12, but must take medicine. It's very important. Somebody, you know, said, no, you're dying. The doctor said, khalas, by tonight. Yeah, no one knows. The doctor dies tonight, the other person, inshallah, lives long. No, be positive, please. It's going to be all right. Always say that to people. And you're not lying, inshallah, because Allah, Ya Rab, we have hope in you. You can cure this person. Huh? Until he dies, we should be positive. And even after his death, we should say, Allah may forgive him. We'll forgive him, inshallah. No doubt. Because Allah is Ghafur Rahim. Inshallah. Say Ameen. Okay. So, she reminded him the good things. He was down and scared. She said, you feed the hungry. You help the poor. You are so generous to the guest. And you are an honorable man and you don't lie. And you are a good husband to me. She reminded him of the things he's good at. And she said, Wallahi la yukhzik Allahu abad. By Allah, Allah will never put you down. In the morning, she covered him and subhanAllah, he slept on her lap the whole night. She didn't want to disturb him. She didn't want to remove her leg. He was scared. In the morning, she took him to her doctor, to her cousin. To her cousin. What's his name? Waraqa bin Nawfal. Waraqa bin Nawfal. Okay. No need to tell you every page what it says, otherwise we never finish the book. So, in the morning, she took him to her cousin, who was a man of knowledge. Did we talk about this last week? No? Okay, I don't want to repeat. Not last week. Last week I was in Jakarta. No, I came back, yeah. Last week, this time I was here. I was about to eat the whole Malaysia. Including Sabah and Sarawak. My favorite. You know when I'm upset, I like to eat?
Comfort food.
Huh?
Comfort food.
Comfort food. I like to bite food, otherwise I will bite some people. Takbir! You know, sometimes when you see someone upset, just put some food in front of him. He calms down. I don't know, it's true. Some people, that's how they let go. Some people, I don't know what they hit. They have to hit someone. Even a car or a table, I don't know what. Alhamdulillah, my problem is at least bite food. Yeah, little bread. So, are we online?
Yes, in the morning.
No need to be online.
Please record it.
Yeah, no need to be online. If you do, then edit. Certain things only I say only here. Good. We are not live. That's what I mean. If you want to remove these things about certain jokes, remove them. It's just for this audience. Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam was taken in the morning to this man. So when he told him the story, Waraqa said, إنه الناموس الذي جاء إلى موسى. It's the same thing that happened to Moses. Namus. He said, what is Namus? He said Jibreel. Angel Jibreel. Waraqa bin Nawfal studied Judaism and studied Christianity. But he was Hanif. He was a Muslim. He was following Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. So he was one of the few men who could read and write. There were only 14 men in Arabia who could read and write when the Prophet was sent. Only 14, 1-4. Because it's an ummiya. It's an illiterate nation. So look what the Quran did. It's the Quran that changed the Arabs from illiterate people to the most knowledgeable people on earth. Remember that. No one has written extensively in history than the Arabs. Do you know that or not? No one has written knowledge more than the Arabs. The ulama, Just look Ibn Kathir, Tafsir, this one, Ibn al-Athir, Ibn Khaldun, Al-Ghazali. Look at what they wrote. And some of them were not Arabs by birth, but they were Arabs by language. Because Arabic was not taken for granted. Everybody learned Arabic. Today, no. This is the mistake. We don't learn Arabic and we expect to understand Islam. It's not going to work. Arabic language is the first language to learn. Then English. We do the other way. Like these kids is wasting their time if we don't put them down to study Arabic language. Arabic as a language. Wallahi al-Azim, it's true. Otherwise, they will not learn the deen. So you see us giving them English for what? Just for dunya. Arabic is language of dunya and akhirah. English or French or is just language of dunya. That's it. Remember that. So study Arabic, especially kids. Kids can quickly. Yeah. So he told him, my son, if I live long, I will defend you. He said, defend me for what, uncle? He said, he was old man, he was 70 plus. Rasulullah was just 40. He said, if I live long, I will defend you. He said, defend me of what? He said, your people. He said, my people Quraysh? He said, yes. He said, they will kick you out. No prophet has come with something like you except that he had enemies. If I live long, my son, I will defend you. I will fight with you. But he died before. He was an old man and almost blind. So, Rasulullah ﷺ expected that already. He had second shock. Second shock, yes, last night was Jibril. This time is Waraqah, telling him, get ready. So he knew that one day he will be asked. In these 3 years, Allah commanded him to talk only to people he trusts. So he started with his wife first, who believed in him automatically. And you see, when you are good to your wives are always going to be on your side. This is to the brothers. But when we tell them something and do the opposite, they will never trust us. We need to do exactly what we say and say what we do. Women, usually by nature, they are loyal and they follow their husbands. So it is up to us. Happy now, sisters? Bring balance? Because earlier I said to brothers, happy, finally. Whatever we say in their favor, finally. Let us never say anything good towards you. Yalla. Because at the end you are never happy. Takbir!
Not fair, not fair.
Look at that. Look at that. You see how they gang? You never gang. Takot, because takot, you sleep on the couch. Yeah. Alhamdulillah, mine doesn't come with me to my classes, so I'm always safe. Takbir! That's why I can do this. But if she's just passing by, yes. Okay. Allah commanded him to do one thing. What is it? Ya ayyuhal muddathir qum fa'andir. So the second ayah that was revealed after Iqra is Surah Al-Muddathir, few verses from it. Ya ayyuhal muddathir qum fa'andir. وَرَبَّكَ فَكَبِّرْ وَثِيَابَكَ فَطَهِّرْ. The ulama differ about, is it this the second or Ya ayyuhal muzzammil? But they agree. It's either Ya ayyuhal muzzammil or Ya ayyuhal muddathir. They disagree about it. But they agree, one of them was after. For us, no problem. We take Ya ayyuhal muddathir. Do you know what does it mean? All the one wrapped up in his, because still when he went home, again he started shivering. Even when he was talking to the Waraq ibn Nawfal, he was scared. He was still under that shock. Ya ayyuhal muddathir. Qum fa'anzir. Get up and do da'wah. Privately, to your friends. So I was talking about the first person to become Muslim is Khadija. The second person to become Muslim is Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. Meaning among men he was the first. Khadija was first overall. Abu Bakr was the second person to believe in him. Not Sayyidina Ali. Ali was 5 years old. How can he believe? He is younger than those years. Because some people say Ali. Yeah, Ali was 5 years old. When the Prophet ﷺ was 40 years, Sayyidina Ali was 5 years old.
Waraka didn't become Muslim.
No, he's Muslim, but he said, I be with you, my son. But he didn't say Shahada, no. At that moment, no. He was already Muslim.
Oh.
Hanif. He was following Hanifiya. He was not Mushrik. Yeah. But among the people who lived long to become Sahaba, and this is Abu Bakr. Abu Bakr was the only man, when Rasulullah said, Abu Bakr, I have become the Prophet of Allah. He didn't say, let me think about it. He only, subhanAllah, immediately, he said, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah and that you are the messenger of Allah. All the other Sahaba, whenever the Prophet tells them, they say, give me some time. I answer you back this afternoon, tomorrow. Give me some time to think. Abu Bakr, subhanAllah, unconditionally. Because they grew up together, so he knows him. He never saw him lying in his life. How can I lie to you, brother? I didn't lie to you even when we were kids, when we were youth. You know me very well. I will not lie to you at the age of 40. I will not. He said, I have no doubt. So do we have friends like this? That I'm with you no matter what. One knife cuts us both, as we say. It's a metaphor. What hurts you hurts me. What benefits you benefits me. So, this is why he loved Abu Bakr. Abu Bakr was unique. No one like him. No one. May Allah be pleased with him. With all Sahaba. Ameen. So Allah says, وَرَبَّكَ فَكَبِّرْ. Do takbirat. So stand up and do da'wah. And do takbirat. وَثِيَابَكَ فَطَهِّرْ. Your clothes, keep it clean. Why? Because people look at your clothes. How can you do da'wah dirty? Imagine, look at you. When you go to do speech, how do you look? When you give lecture, how do you look, Dr. Abi? Very handsome, mashallah. Right or wrong? Because that is very important. Because some people may reject your speeches because of the way you dress. You smell hell, you smell busu, you look like Hantu, and your clothes look at that. So you may say nothing but hikmah, but people are not listening to you. But some people say nothing, blah blah blah, but because they look good, they attract attention. So clothing. But here the Prophet was commanded not just to look good, but to make sure his clothes are clean. Tahara. وَثِيَابَكَ فَطَهِرْ. Your clothes has to be clean. He didn't say wear the best of your clothes. No. He said wear the cleanest of your clothes. Make sure no urine, no najasa, no blood, nothing on it. وَالرُّجْزَ فَهْجُرْ. Stay away from rujz, shirk. Idols. Don't be near idols. Don't be near idols. Let alone bring an idol to your own house. Some of our homes are what? Full of statues. Oh, Sheikh, this statue reminds me my last trip to Egypt, 1992. Since 1992, you have Fir'aun in your home, and you are worried why you have jinn or hantu or raccoon, or I don't know what is this called? Musa. I thought Musang King is Musang is this? So Buang Musang is this?
Yes.
I see. What is Buang?
It's cave.
Cave, the cave of Musa, this. Alas, I know.
Yeah.
Takbir.
Well.
Anyways, don't debate. Sheikh, I feel something is in my house. Sister, let me see what you have. You find statues everywhere. The doll, the scary one, the movie. Hantu. A real Hantu you have. Malaika don't like that. Jinn like that. Music 24/7. Malaika will come, wallahi they will not come. So please understand, photos, especially big photos, what is this? Malaika will not enter. So who enters? Shayateen. So there is always negative energy. Fight between husband and wife for nothing. Kids, no one likes anyone because of those. So you remove that, you will see. Simple thing. So Allah Azza wa Jalla commanded him to do that. The third ayah was Ya ayyuhal muzammil. Oh, the one still covered up. Qum al-layla inna qalil. It will help you do qiyamul layl. It will help you a lot. You want to have extra energy during the day? Pray 2 to 4 rak'ahs at night. Qiyamul layl, you will see. You start having power like never before. Ya ayyuhal muzammil. Qum al-layla illa qalila. Make qiyamul layl, except part of it. So it was wajib for him. That's why he had special power. Rasulullah ﷺ, where did he get the power from? It's from sleeping early. He was sleeping right after Isha and getting up 2-3 hours before Fajr. That's why he was strong. And when he got up, he does, mashallah, qiyamul layl. So, Rasulullah ﷺ now, let's go to page 121, please. He knew that there are sacrifices. Please understand, brothers and sisters. You as father and mother, do you sacrifice for your kids or not? Yes. You sacrifice time, you sacrifice money, savings, whatever savings, then you spend on your kids. You work almost like a donkey, and whatever saving, you will spend on your kids. To go to school, to have this, to have if they are sick. That's sacrifice. You think doing da'wah without sacrifice? For dunya, look how much you gave to your kids. And may Allah reward you. It's a good thing. For akhirah, you want to go to paradise just like that. Just like that. To me, marriage is all about sacrifice. I told you and I repeat. These youth who are not yet married, they have to understand. When you marry, you let go so many things that you like. You sacrifice a lot just to keep that husband happy or that wife happy. Many things you do, let go. So you make adjustments. Why? Because that's wisdom. That's a requirement of living together. So you think you're going to go to Jannah without sacrifice. Sometimes your life, not just your time. Not only what you like, your own life. Because Allah is buying here. Allah says in Surah At-Tawbah, إِنَّ اللَّهَ اشْتَرَى مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Allah is buying from the believers. What? أَمْوَالَهُمْ وَأَنفُسَهُمْ وَأَمْوَالَهُمْ. Their lives and their properties. In return, okay, Ya Allah, I have to give you my property and my life. In return, بِأَنَّ لَهُمُ الْجَنَّةِ. Then you get the Jannah. You think we're going to go to Jannah just like that? Allah al-Adim, if we don't sweat and bleed for this deen and cry. So tears, sweat and blood. Maybe Allah will give us Jannah. So people were just living a good life, not paying zakat. Umrah is the last thing they think of. Hajj is the least of them. So, the early converts, the early Muslims who reverted to Islam. We said Khadija, Abu Bakr, Zayd bin Haritha, Ali bin Abi Talib. These were the first who became Muslim. Why Zayd bin Haritha? Zayd was given to him as a young boy, almost age of our son Farid here, as a gift. Khadija bought him and gave him to the Prophet's house. She gave him a boy to serve him. What happened to Zayd? The family of Zayd lost the battle. And the winners used to take women and children and sell them in the market. Slavery. So they sold this boy. Khadija bought him. She saw him, mashallah, she liked him. She brought him and she said, Ya Muhammad, before he became prophet, this boy is for you, to serve you. What usually those boys do? Farid, go to 7-Eleven, buy me newspaper. So he goes and come back. And he's happy because why? You want to put out, play. That's all. Get me my shoes. Get my shoes ready. So they put the shoes there instead of looking for it. What we do actually with our ulama, our children have done nothing. Do you know what we used to do to our shuyukh? We even pour water for them to make wudu. That's how. Our children will never learn the deen if they don't learn to respect the alim. Forget it. Today, one thing we are making big mistake, we never make our children respect the ulama. That's why they can never learn. But imagine you create love and respect between the teacher and the student. That student will get the knowledge because he loves the sheikh. He will do anything. Pouring water for the sheikh today is what? Child abuse. You're abusing my son. I gave you my son to Habazan. Yalla, take your son and disappear. I am teaching him to learn. You don't know. Spoiling. So that boy, Rasulullah SAW treated him so nice that everybody thought he was his son. Imagine, he buys like this, he buys him. MashaAllah. So no one called him Zayd bin Haritha. He's known as Zayd bin Muhammad. So he was one of the early people who became Muslim. Also, look at it, please. Rasulullah ﷺ professed Islam before he teaches the Sahaba. They see him. Then they copy him. He doesn't tell them first. He does it first. For example, he goes and prays 2 rak'ahs in the Kaaba. And they see him, brave, standing. He told them, don't do this. You don't do this. They will beat you up. He at least had a strong ankle. They respect him for his ankle. They didn't want to harm him because his ankle is highly respected and they were afraid of him. The moment his ankle dies, of course they will target him now. But the other Sahaba, many of them didn't have people to protect them. So he told them, you pray secretly. But he shows them that he prays. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu was wealthy, obliging, and upright. He was wealthy, meaning people respect him for his wealth. He was very straight. He never cheated. That's why Abu Bakr also convinced many Sahaba to become Muslim. I know it's getting late. Some of you are already closing their eyes. And I'm going to close shop very soon. Takbir. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, it was him who brought Uthman bin Affan to Islam. He went to Uthman and said, Uthman, you and I know each other for quite some time, right? He said, yes, of course. He said, listen, brother. I am asking you something, please keep it for you, if you disagree. He said, what is it? He said, I have become a Muslim. I am following Muhammad. Muhammad bin Abdullah. He said, yes. Such a noble man. What is he calling for? He said he's calling for only one God. And that all these idols are made by humans. And the Lord, the true Lord, Allah is the Lord of the Kaaba. Uthman immediately said, and I bear witness that he is the messenger of Allah. But who invited him? He had business relations. He knows how honest he is, and he heard of Rasulullah. Rasulullah was so happy of Uthman. Why? Not because Uthman became Muslim. Uthman broke the rules of Jahiliyyah, culture. He went against his culture. What was his culture? He's from Bani Umayyah. Bani Umayyah are the rivals of Bani Hashim. Imagine you go against your own tribe. Do you know how powerful that? Brothers, you go against the wish of your own wife. She goes against you. She will say, I will do this. That's not easy. Let alone the tribe. So Uthman said, okay. So 21 years later on, the first Bani Umayyah became Muslim. Look how long it took Bani Umayyah to become Muslim. The first from Bani Umayyah to become Muslim was 21 years later. They didn't want. It was just out of ego. How come Bani Hashim, Allah sent the Prophet from them and not us? Whatever Bani Hashim used to do, Bani Umayyah can do. Except that when Muhammad said, I am the messenger of Allah, no one of them could say the same. You got it? So it's rivalry. Some people are very rival. So, Alhamdulillah, Zubayr ibn al-Awwam joined. Abdul Rahman bin Auf joined. Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas joined, and Talha ibn Ubaidillah. All this, it was Abu Bakr Siddiq who invited them to Islam. Meaning, all of this, it's Abu Bakr who convinced them to come to Islam. Rasulullah ﷺ told Abu Bakr, go and talk to your best friends. Look, out of 10 given glad tidings to paradise, these, Abu Bakr was the reason for them to come to Islam. So quality, he brings quality Sahaba to Islam. And they were the first to become Muslim. And they were the best. Always the first, the best. Do you know that? Simply why? No, they spend a lot of time with you. Some of you, for example, have been with me with years. Doesn't mean the others are less. No, but sorry, those who have been studying with someone for many years know him better. Hopefully. I don't know. I need to review that. Actually, some of the oldest are the most tough. You still tell them this, you cannot do this, till they do it. Brother or sister just became yesterday Muslim, خلاص. Sheikh, lillahi ta'ala, خلاص. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. So look at the Sahaba, Uthman, Zubayr, Abdul Rahman, Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, and Talha ibn Ubaidillah were invited by Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. So quality, he brought quality. Quality Sahaba.
Were they businessmen?
Most of them, yes. They were all in business. And they were leaders in their tribes. They were leaders in their tribes. So Abu Bakr as-Siddiq used his connections for Allah's sake. You may have very good connections, but you never use. For example, you use your connections to invite people to this class. This class, I never get discouraged because also it's December anyways. December, most people still, I told you Muslims have 3 religions. We are Muslims in Ramadan, in Eid, and Jumu'ah. Christians in December, because we celebrate Christmas. And Jewish the whole year.
Why Jewish the whole
Cheat, lie, deceiving. Sisters, outside Islam, go do business with someone. Outside Salat, go do business with someone. Who may cheat you? Give a loan to a Muslim. Who will return the money on time? Some people will return the money, but your life has to come out first. Listen. Come. Farid, mashallah, my favorite boy. Allah bless him. Farid wants to borrow money from Sheikh. So Sheikh, give me some money, please. Can I borrow some money? I need it badly.
1 million.
Allahu Akbar. Huh? Rupiah. Hey, I became rich in Indonesia. Whoa! All this? Go drink this one? Coffee bean I found there? 40,000. 40,000 for a cup of coffee. Takbir. Yalla. Sheikh. Then you will never get money. Where you're speaking, never get. They will do ruku' for you. Please, brother, give me money. Give me money. Fine, you give them money. Okay. Now, he almost did ruku' to me to give him some money. So I give him some money. I say, what do you return it? Inshallah, Sheikh, after 6 months. Okay, very good. Go. 6 months pass. Now I need. Brother, please give me my money. 6 months pass. Oh, wait, tungula. Then now, I don't just do ruku' for him to pay me back. I do sujood. Please give me back my money. Thank you. This is the problem with Muslims of today. You give them money, you will beg them to return. Except few. Alhamdulillah, there are always honorable Muslims. And when they cannot pay, they come to you and say, please, give me some more time. Not let you guess, doubt, did I run away, did they? Yes.
So, Sheikh Saib, how can I say Mat al-Ghani?
Mawtul Ghani?
Yeah.
What
We have
happened?
hadith for, you know,
If he
amanat, yeah. For we give money Mat al-Ghani.
What do you mean? Mawtul Ghani means the death of a rich person. So,
No, we
I
have
don't
a
understand.
hadith, Mat al-Ghani. If you have anyone have money, and don't take for him. I show for you.
yeah.
You have hadith.
No, yeah, but I just don't understand the question. If someone has money, don't give him? What did you say?
That's for amanat.
Yes.
Yeah. If you say you give money for
Yes.
let's say
Yes.
Farid, yeah,
Farid.
and Farid have money
Mm.
and they didn't give for you.
No. Oh, yeah, that's another subject. If you have the ability to return and you don't return, it's a major sin. I told you that. If someone gives you a loan and you have the ability to return, but because he's ghani, he's rich, you say he doesn't need it. No, return, rich or poor, give him back his money. That's a sin. I understood what he meant. That's a major sin. So, for anyone who has borrowed money from a brother or sister, please, if it is due time to return, don't say, well, he's rich, he doesn't need. I don't think that, brother. No. He needs it or not, you return it. It's wajib. It's wajib. And it's a sin not to return money when you can. Yeah.
Can I show for you?
Yes.
Fine.
Which one? Matlu al-ghani. Yes, very good. Ghani, delaying to pay back is zulm, is injustice. Very good. If a person has money to return and he keeps delaying, that's a form of injustice. Matlu al-ghani, zulmun. Correct. MashaAllah. So, Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam was commanded to do da'wah secretly, so he did it. When he formed a group of good men and women around him, it took him 3 years. Mecca heard of something, but they never really realized, what is it? They were just busy with their dunya. Because the Prophet never stood up, challenging them. So they didn't care. But after 3 years, Allah commanded him, he revealed this verse to him, فَاصْدَعْ بِمَا تُؤْمَرُ O Muhammad, who speak loud now about what you have been commanded. So he went to the mount of Safa and he told people, Ya ma'shara Bani Hashim, Ya ma'shara Bani Umayyah. Everybody came. For those who couldn't go, they sent someone. Go here, as-Sadiq al-Amin. It must be important. He told them, if I tell you there is an army coming to attack us, invade Mecca, would you believe me? Although it was impossible. It was impossible. They said, if you say so, yes. But actually it's not going to happen. Why? 40 years ago, Allah destroyed Abraham. So they know no one will dare to attack Mecca. But if you say so, O Muhammad, we will believe you. So he said, what do you think about me? Did I ever lie to you? They said, no, never. Did I ever cheat anyone? I was buying and selling with you in the market. Did I ever cheat you? They said, no. Did you hear me say a lie? They said, never. Actually, we know you as Sadiq al-Amin. He said, then I am the messenger of Allah to you. Say la ilaha illallah tuflih. Say la ilaha illallah, you'll be safe. That's all he asked. They were about to. His uncle, may Allah curse him, Abu Lahab, said to him, Tabban lak, stop. This is what you call ask for? He played it down. He killed the idea. He aborted the project. You see, there are people always like this. At the moment where you're about to gain something, someone will come. So he told them, disperse, go back to your workers. Daylight. He said, uncle, why you did that? He said, woe to you, tabban lak. That's why Allah says, tabbat yada abi lahabin. He's going to hell. Because if he left it between Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and people would have said shahada. Because they know he never lies. Oh, Abu Lahab got so mad, he called the other leaders, hey, we leave this? Cannot leave this. Now his problem starts. From this moment, the next 10 years, he will suffer. So 3 years secretly. 10 more years, day after day, he's going to suffer. He never gave up. 10 years of suffering. Do you know how he suffered? Not only being called all kinds of names. His companions were being tortured and killed in front of him. Do you know what does it mean? For example, some of you, because they love me and they attend my classes, people start torturing them. And this Sahabi by Khabbab ibn al-Arat radiyallahu anhu, his back, I end with this story. They used to put stones. They make the stone on fire and then put that stone on his back. It melts everything, only the bone stops it. Imagine all the muscles of his back were all burned. Umar radiallahu anhu, when he became caliph, he asked the Sahaba, after the death of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, let us remember some of our time, you know. So Khabbab turn came. He didn't say anything, he just showed them his back. Up to the time of Umar, his back was full of holes. And holes as much as a child can put his hand in. That's what he went through. Khabbab ibn al-Arat radiallahu anhu. You and me, alhamdulillah, we didn't reach this level already. Oh, Sheikh. Bilal radiallahu anhu, they put a huge rock on his chest until he couldn't breathe. Burn him on the sand of Mecca. Mecca, the sand of Mecca. Do you know what does it mean, Mecca? The sand of Mecca? Ad-Duhr. Ahadun ahad. Only one. You kill me because Iman has. So we stop here, my dear brothers and sisters, and we will talk now open preaching. How he started openly preaching. He did not stop. And never look at number. Only Khadija was with him. First time, only Khadija. Then Allah blessed him with Abu Bakr, Zayd bin Haritha, Ali ibn Abi Talib, Uthman bin Affan, Abdurrahman bin Auf, Zubayr, Talha. See, always you start small. And small number. And many of them were boycotted. Don't buy from Abu Bakr, people say. Don't buy from Uthman. Imagine. And they were not afraid. They say, Wallahi, we will never change. That's it. We will not. You buy from me or not, the risk comes from Allah. May Allah bless my dear brothers and sisters. Any question about this? Makkah? Yes.
During that secret invitation, how many actually followed Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam?
Not more than 20. But they were
for
a
3 years, for the first
for 3 years. Only 20. Quality. Actually, you should have core group. All of you. Core group. And you teach them aqidah. You teach them faith. They will never betray you. That's what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did. This core group of the first 3 years will stand with him at the battle of Hunayn. When all ran away, Takud, the only 20 people who stayed. These are. That's why the Muhajirin were the best. The immigrants were better than the Ansar in faith. No doubt the Ansar were very generous and they shared everything, but they were not as strong in their faith as the Muhajirin. Why? Because Muhajirin had more ilmu, more classes with the Prophet. Advantage of 13 years. Somebody saw the Prophet from day one, like Abu Bakr, Siddiq, like Khadija. Okay, Abu Bakr, why? Because Khadija died. Sorry, it's not like Sayyiduna Mu'adh bin Jabal or somebody else. Sorry, not the same. Good, what else? But subhanAllah, Umar became Muslim 6th year of Hijrah. 6 years after this. He will pass them all except Abu Bakr. Some people come late, but they have so much dedication. So you could be the Umar, inshallah. Some brothers join classes and sisters quite late, but Allah will pull them first class. Why? More dedication, more sincerity. Umar was like that. He came 6 years after Rasulullah started doing da'wah. So many Sahaba were before him, but he becomes number 2 Sahabi. You got it or not? That is Fadlullah. That's the bounty of God. He gives it to whom? Umar was sincere. Umar, brothers and sisters, black and white. Nothing is gray. Either here or here. He was clear about things. And like you and me, sometimes we know it's wrong, we still do it. It's okay. It's not okay. It's KO or okay. Takbir! Yallah, we end the class. Actually, we stretched it another half an hour because we started quite late. May Allah forgive us. Always late. But today, almost the whole class was late. Not just Sheikh today. Even the host and his wife were late. Takbir! Even the raccoon was late. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. Ya Allah, benefit us with what we learned. What we learned is how Khadija radiallahu anha treated positively her husband. We also learned how the wahi came. Second, we learned that getting second opinion from somebody, a learned person, nothing wrong with that. 3, we saw how come Rasulullah sallallahu secretly. There are certain things you do secretly. You don't go public first. Once you have a strong group, then you go public. And then we talked about da'wah, inshallah, publicly. We will see how Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, now he has core group, trustworthy people around him, men and women. He can embark on da'wah. May Allah bless us and make us among the Sahaba, inshallah, Yawm al-Qiyamah. Ameen. And you know, if you love the Sahaba, you will be with them. And the Sahaba represent Islam. Be careful of these idiots who are saying, the Sahaba they represent Islam. Why Allah didn't choose me with the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Why not Zoubir Bouchiki, Zoubir ibn al-Awwam? They represent. They want you not to have what you call an example to follow. After Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we follow Sahaba. May Allah make us like the Sahaba, men and women. Ameen. May Allah bless all my sisters and brothers. Our host and his wife, may Allah shower them with Rahman Barakah, especially with the good food that we're going to eat. That beer. If you have good food, I'll make dua for you more. It depends. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. Thank you, little girls. Yalla, now Salat.